This podcast is brought to you by our supporters at Patreon. In case you missed the announcement last week, this show has a new schedule. On the 1st of the month, we'll be posting an episode on Patreon, and then on the 15th, give or take, we're going to be posting one here on the main feed. 24 episodes a year, cutting back a little bit. So if you want the other episodes, head on over to patreon.com/dissectingthe80s. For $5 a month, you get to support the show and you get an extra episode every single month. Plus, sign up and get access to the entire back catalog all at once. That's more than 15 episodes. It might even be pushing 20 or 25 at this point.
I think so.
But definitely more than 15 episodes. Movies like Die Hard and
Roger
last
Rabbit.
week's Naked Gun, Roger Rabbit, Top Gun, some of our fun live episodes. You can hear us in front of a crowd. So that's patreon.com/dissectingthe80s. Welcome to Dissecting the 80s. I am Trip Lano, one half of the mega podcasting powers. And with me, as always, a man not represented in multiple ways in this film. Neither a theater kid nor a member of the gay community. The Macho Man Drew.
Andrew Lano. No, I mean, I feel like theater...
I mean, gay people didn't exist in 1984, but the theater kids could have been in there.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'm surprised there wasn't, like... I mean, there's a lot of... They did throw the F slur around quite a bit.
Yes,
But I think theater kids weren't a punching bag yet.
That's probably fair.
I feel like the 90s...
It's just not represented,
sort of
though.
When that became a thing, I feel like.
That's fair. That's fair. I will say... I don't think it's good that they're throwing that slur around,
No, yeah.
but I will say, just to say this early, probably incredibly accurate to the time.
I'm sure.
Like, it's like, very much so. I remember people talking about that with Stranger Things, being like, well,
If they were
it was
accurate.
really accurate. Yeah, and it was like, well, yeah, sure, okay, but who wants that? Like, what, to what end? What is the point of that accuracy?
Yeah, well, it's the same, like, spirit as what people try to get... People try to cancel Pedro Pascal for being very physically affectionate with his co-stars.
This thing I found so confusing. It was like...
The best part about the fucking discourse was them being like, I notice he doesn't get that kind of touchy anxiety with underage Bella something. Ramsey. And I'm like, so are you saying you want him to touch a child? Or
right.
Like, what are you trying to get out of this, Buster Brown?
It seems like the guy is aware of the boundaries. And also, like, I don't know. I'm sure that he is, like... I'm sure that he touches men in the same way that
There's
he touches
so many
women.
videos of him kissing the guy from Stranger Things in this Fantastic Four from, like, press store.
Right.
But it's just so funny that that's what people try and, like, point to. And it's like, what do you...
I gotta be honest. Like, I know that... I know that I'm old, but I just find it fucking exhausting. It's like, I see stuff like this, and I'm just like, doesn't that just wear you the fuck out? Like, I have completely gotten off social media, and I barely pay attention to the news, because I have gotten to where, and like, look, I know the world is bad, and I'm not, like, oblivious to the badness, but I'm just like, I can't...
The important bad stuff's gonna find you.
But it's just like, I can't consume the full volume of things that I have no ability to affect and just be like, well, that's it. I just keep eating this shit sandwich over and over and over again. So I feel bad all the time. It's just like, what is the point? Why do you seek to feel like shit all the time? You have control. It's like, you don't have to do this. There's so many other choices. Just do anything else. I'm not even saying touch grass. Stay inside and eat fucking ice cream.
Yeah.
Just like, do something else.
Yeah.
Do something else. Anyway, we watched for our 300th episode the John Hughes coming-of-age classic, The Breakfast Club. And you know what that means.
We gotta go back. We gotta go dissect the 80s. It's our tagline. Someone's got a tagline.
When the mega powers explode.
I'm talking about the 80s. Oh, yeah.
Great Scott!
Cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
Mega powers, yeah!
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Was that like a meta thing about that you were like closing the door on the Doc Brown bit?
Both.
Okay.
It's both.
This is like no more. What is the tagline of this movie? Do you know it? Is that a?
Don't you forget about me?
Is that what the
No,
tagline
but
is?
I'm saying our tag.
Okay.
The tag of our podcast is
yes.
Don't You Forget About
Yes.
Me.
Oh, sure. Symmetry. I see. Yeah. Whoosh. We're retiring the Doc Brown bit.
Yeah.
Andrew's voice can't take
Look.
it anymore. 11 years, 300 episodes.
I think after 300 episodes, it's fair to be like, this bit can go away now.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, maybe there's going to be an outcry. So we'll see. Feel free to send us a message on Blue Sky or what have you if you're missing us, or maybe no one's paying attention because we got a bunch of chud comments on the Spotify as we posted our old episodes.
Oh, really?
And then we had a new. I guess this is the first main feed episode. The other one was just a
Teaser.
Yeah, teaser. Thank you. Oh yeah, It's funny. Like I put up the Batman episode, which was. Gosh, like episode 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's
like 9 years ago. Yeah. And I don't remember what I said about Frank Miller. I stand behind it.
I couldn't tell anything I said in that episode.
I'll tell you this. I stand behind it. Frank Miller sucks. Like I stand behind it. But this guy,
because he sucked then, right? He
is continually sucked.
Well, it's just I know sometimes who's like the Sandman guy. What's him?
Oh yeah, that's a new guy.
Yeah, like I was like, did his suckage come after?
No, Frank Miller, long time suck. And I guess I said as much on the thing. And this, like, I don't know why I'm giving this person the time of day, but I just find it funny. This person's like, "Oh, I was gonna subscribe to your show, but then, you had to do what's the stupid word they use? No, the other one, the like moralizing, grandstanding.
The woke, the PC, the lib.
It's when it's not you're in the right zone but the wrong space. It's like somebody who pretends. No. Let me get my words out because it will help you. It's like when someone really grandstands about their opinion.
Oh, virtue signaling.
Person. That's the one. See, I knew you'd get there if you let me get it out. He's like, oh, until you start virtue signaling about Frank Miller. And I'm just like...
It's not virtue signaling if I don't like him.
But also, what are you doing? Isn't what you're doing literally virtue signaling?
Yeah.
Like, if it's bad to be a virtue signaler, isn't it what you're doing, you chud? Anyway, lots to talk about this movie. I'll stop making fun of this one random comment on our Spotify. Feel free to go make a comment on this episode. Good, bad, or otherwise. I don't care. Maybe we'll make fun of you if you say something stupid. Hadn't watched this in a very long time. Movie I thought of fairly fondly, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that your zone? Okay. And I would say, like, just in the big picture perspective, I think I still am in that zone, but probably not as much as I used to be.
I don't think I like it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I
had a feeling.
I appreciate, like, what it was, what it did, and, like, all of... It's the same way that I feel about, like, Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals. Like, they did a lot of good stuff for the medium and for culture and pop culture.
Sure.
They can go on a shelf and be a pretty thing to look at, and that's fine. They can be the pretty knickknack on the shelf that doesn't get played with.
I was reading, like, some Letterboxd reviews and poking around some different stuff with this, and I ended up seeing a link to an essay that Molly Ringwald wrote in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Okay.
And she was talking about, I think there's a This American Life episode about this as well, where she and her daughter, like, watched a bunch of her movies. Her daughter was like 10 or 12.
I know
in that ballpark.
She talked about that on a talk show because she recently, quote unquote recently, in the last couple of years, did a Ryan Murphy show. It was Feud Capote versus the Swans, and she played one of the Swans, the one who was his friend at the end that he didn't piss off. And so, like, that anecdote came up. I think it was Kelly Clarkson's show, maybe, or Drew Barrymore, whatever.
Yeah.
But she talked about how her kids watched the movie, and she's like, it's really interesting to see a perspective today of who they're like, people like this movie? Like, her kids are fully like, this is, like, a thing?
What she says in this that I found really interesting, and I didn't verify it, but I'm going to take her word for it because, she was 17 at the time, 15, and I think she's 17 in this movie. I think she's like 15 in Pretty in Pink. So I trust her as a valid source for this.
Yeah, primary source.
One of the things she talked, One of the things she talks about in this is, like, the revolutionary of them, in that there really wasn't a lot of young adult stuff made, and the stuff that was made was primarily like Porky's, which is like, you know, nudity and swearing for boys kind of things. That like there really was nothing with girls aimed at it, and she said even the like YA books hadn't exploded in the way they you know, eventually did. Like, I didn't look this up, but like I'm assuming she's talking about like your Babysitter's Club and stuff like that. Like, obviously
Sweetwater High was another one.
Yeah. It's like, obviously Nancy Drew is, you know, goes back to the 60s or the 50s.
Yeah.
So there was like obviously not nothing, but she was just talking about like the explosion hadn't really happened and how revolutionary it was. But the other thing I think is really interesting, and I think we would touch on some of this stuff anyway, so I'm just going to throw it out here at the top, is like, you know, one of the things she mentions in the essay is like, you know, the world of the John Hughes movies is almost entirely white, and when there are non-white characters, they're caricatures, like Long Duck Dong. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's nobody who's gay, there's no, you know, everybody's straight and white and whatever. But she talked about like going to conventions over the years, and people who were, you know, queer or black or what have you, would come up to her and talk about how meaningful these movies were to them. And just the fact that there were stories of young people dealing with angst and not understanding their place in the world and kind of trying to figure their shit out was really meaningful for people who weren't like the people on screen necessarily. And I thought that was very interesting. Like, you know, I part of my relating to this movie over the years, and mostly as a young person, is like, you know, I'm a straight white guy. This is a movie about straight white kids in suburbia, and like that is my life. So it's like, of course it resonates in ways with me, you know? So it was interesting to see that kind of thing where people found representation in things that weren't necessarily aimed directly at them. I thought it was interesting. She also talked about really appreciating that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a thing with queer people. I mean, people of minorities do. It's like, they don't make this stuff for us, so we find ourselves. And we're just like happy to not be the villain in the thing.
Right. So that was all heady stuff. I'm going to change gears to something really stupid. I put this on, this is a DVD for me. And
I have it on Blu-ray, unopened until today. Because I couldn't find it streaming, so I was like, I guess
it's on Stars.
Which, like, who the fuck? Why is that still a program? A service?
Jim Stars doesn't even have Stars.
Like, in the age where like all the things that are like Paramount, MGM Plus are floundering, Stars is still chugging along.
You know what the worst part is? Stars has the Sony license, and so if something comes out, that you want to see from Sony, Stars is the first place it goes. So I have gotten 1 month Stars subscriptions on multiple occasions because it's cheaper than renting the one movie I wanted to watch.
It's like how Mubi has the substance and nothing else really of note. No offense, Mubi. I like your platform's idea, but you're just the substance. Like, you might as well just have the substance streaming.
Right. So I have the High School Reunion DVD.
I have the 30th anniversary with like a weird Andy Warhol looking sleeve.
But you pop this bad boy in and you get a 3.5 minute commercial for a bunch of high school movies. It's not just
Mean Girls,
this movie.
Is it like
no 80s stuff?
80s stuff. Okay.
80s stuff. Yeah. The skip button doesn't work, so you have to fast forward, and you could only go 2x, so that, you know, it's not that much faster. And then the 3-minute ad ends, and it's like the speech that Anthony Michael Hall gives at the beginning and end of the movie, where it's like, we are a blah, 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 blah,
They make you watch it?
It's like, it's not that they make you watch it. It's that you have to listen to him say it while you see still images of the characters, like as if someone's flipping through a pile of trading cards. An additional 90 seconds, and then you can click play. And I was just like, who?
And then the movie starts with 2 minutes of the most boring intro on the fucking planet.
Just black screen text and the song playing. And I'm just like, who on earth was like, you know what should happen every time someone wants to put in The Breakfast Club on DVD? 90 seconds of Anthony Michael Hall and trading card flips. Also, here's a thought. Some number of people will be putting in this DVD having never seen this film, and you're giving them the speech from the end of the movie.
It's the beginning, too.
It is It is the beginning and the end. I can't remember this. Is it word for word identical?
I think it might leave off a sentence at the end, but it's still,
okay.
you know.
But I just was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, well, because frankly, like, the opening of this movie should be the kids at their homes getting ready to go to detention.
100%. Yes,
It's
100%.
Claire putting her makeup in her purse. It's John Bender climbing out the window of his house so he doesn't wake up his parents. It's Andy working out in the gym. He's like, Dad's like, all right, 2-hour workout's already done. Now get in the car. Like, you can do that instead of 2 minutes of nothing.
Yeah. And then I find the Bowie quote.
Oh my God.
So cringy. The quote from Changes of, the children that you spit on. And I'm just like, good God, man. Like, this is a little too much. And I remember the movie quite fondly. I was watching it for the first time in a long time. And I was just like, are we really doing this? Is this really it?
And like, truly, I think that's why this is indicative of a high school experience. Because if you aren't looking back and cringing at yourself.
Sure.
Then you're not growing, and I have concerns.
Yeah. I will also say this for this movie. The performances across the board are fantastic. The direction of this movie is great. There's a bunch of, like, for a movie that is, like, largely, and sorry, buddy, Kevin Smith, was like, this could be a Kevin Smith movie, right?
Easily.
Where, like, the camera is basically static, and it's all dialogue. Because this movie is just basically
almost
all
be a
dialogue.
play.
Oh, for sure. I mean, with very few changes, it's a play.
Mm-hmm. Frankly, shocked it never became one.
This could be so boring. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This could be a movie that has no dynamism. There's no dynamic element to this. Like, it's static. It's boring. It's staid. And instead, it is not that at all.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's a few sequences of, I'm going to use action in the lightest sense of the form of the word, but
there's some
like
kinetic movement.
Yeah, but it's like not a movie where much happens physically. It's mostly characters talking, and it's good, and it's good because they happen to cast 5 incredibly talented young people.
Oh, yeah.
And the 2 adults, the one guy, Carl's kind of a throwaway, but the guy who plays I guess he's the principal. Does it say
he's principal or assistant principal?
Yeah, whatever. I have his name written down. It's Paul something. Vernon. One of the great.
Vernon. The character's name is
Paul Vernon. The character's Vernon. Yeah. One of the all-time great asshole authority figure actors that ever existed. You got this and Die Hard, and if you never did anything else, you could retire off those 2 performances.
Is he Holly's new?
No, he's Al Powell's boss, the cop who comes in and takes over from Al, and then the FBI shows up, and he's like, Mr. Agent Johnson.
I'm
Mr. Agent Johnson.
I'm Agent Johnson.
What can I do to help you? Like suck it up to the FBI guys. Also, very funny cameo in Not Another Teen Movie, which I have a lot of respect for.
Oh, really?
He plays this part again.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So yeah, great asshole bad guy character. Authority figure.
We get nerdy, not beefy yet. Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, I just watched him in Reacher season 3, and it is very funny to see him back at this scrawny.
Is Reacher the one that's little supernatural, or is that Preacher?
Not at all. Preacher is is a comic book that's Reacher is what if Jason Voorhees was also Sherlock Holmes?
Jason Voorhees?
What if Sherlock Holmes was the size of Jason Voorhees?
Got it. Okay.
And the relative strength?
Wait, hang on.
What if Sherlock Holmes was also the Incredible Hulk?
Got it.
How about that?
Okay.
He's like 6'6", the size of a refrigerator, his hands as big as a dinner plate. He's the greatest detective who ever lived, and he's so good at punching.
All right.
You'd love him. He's a hunk.
Okay.
He's a real beefcake.
Who plays
beefcake. Alan Richson, which you probably don't know.
Yeah, no, he's the hottie he was in Blue Mountain State, and now he's in. Oh, wait, no, Reacher.
You watched Blue Mountain State?
I didn't, but I watched. I watched a video about the Spike TV iceberg, and he was featured. Right, Reacher. Okay, yes. Okay, I do know what Reacher is.
Reacher is great.
Yeah.
Actually, let me say this. Season 1 of Reacher, great. Season 3 of Reacher, almost great. Season 2 of Reacher, not very good, skippable. But season 1 and
I've
season 3,
seen a lot of
excellent.
shorts on Instagram and YouTube, like the one where he saves a lady being she's at the ATM, and he's like, "Don't turn around. Is that your car?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the best. There's a sequence in season 2 of Reacher where a guy is following them. He's like a police. He's like I don't know if he's a cop or FBI or whatever he is. He's some sort of whatever.
Yeah.
And he's following Reacher, but Reacher doesn't know he's law enforcement. And Reacher walks up to his car and he kicks the bumper so hard he makes the airbag activate. And then the guy's like all jacked up and he like drags him out of the car and starts beating him up. And then his wallet falls out of his pocket and he sees a badge and he's like, oops. It's a great program.
It's also very funny
truly tremendous
to me that Tom Cruise made himself play Reacher once.
Just embarrassing.
Yeah, 5'2" in a race car bed, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, absurd. My wife's mom was a big fan of the books. They were like hugely popular. She
Is it
was
like James
librarian.
Patterson? Is it like one of those types, or it's just like a random popular book series?
I don't think I follow you in the James Patterson
But is
thing.
it like
Just
you know how it's like
he's
there's like 4 contemporary writers that are like
oh yeah
4
Lee
contemporary
Child
adult
is the
fiction
guy.
writers, and it's
Yeah. There's like I think Lee Child has written 25 or 30 of the Reacher books, and like they're written such that you can read any one of them. They don't like there's continuity, but it's like not enough that it matters.
yeah.
And but yeah, I highly recommend. Great beach reads, shows a hoot.
Okay.
You would enjoy it. It's fun in the way like a good 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme movie is fun.
yeah, that's what it seems like.
Just like excellent action schlock, good gunplay, good punches.
Everything
and
looks
it's
tiny
also,
in his hands.
Yeah, and it's also the sort of Captain America I don't like bullies ethos, which rules. Like
great.
I just love it. Yeah, it just is great. If it's a monster man who just wants to punch other monster men for being nice to the regular people, I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
So. Anyway, on a different note, Molly Ringwald in the car here, I'm like, good gosh, she was cute,
She was
right?
so
like
adorable.
just the cutest. She's the cutest.
That little like the lips everyone strives for today with lip filler, like the perfect little button nose.
Yeah, cutie patootie. I love Anthony Michael Hall's family license plate is EMC squared.
Oh, I missed that.
Or it's EMC2,
But yeah.
but you know, obviously, I didn't check. I thought that somebody's dad, might be John Hughes in a little cameo. I forget.
Couldn't tell you
did
what John
not-
Hughes looks like, so I have no idea.
Okay, I forgot to look that up. So
Does he cameo in anything else he does?
I don't know, but it's such a small part, and it looks so much like him. There's no dialogue or anything, and I was like, maybe it is him, you know, like a Hitchcocky, sort of, yeah, like from the scale is like Hitchcock to M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
You know,
Well, it's like
it's more in the Hitchcock.
M. Night started like smaller, and then eventually
he started Hitchcock.
He started kind of Hitchcocky, and then became like third build, and you're like, this
Yeah.
isn't a cameo anymore, buddy.
Yeah, like I enjoyed Old quite a bit. The current run he's on, where he finances the movies himself and bets on himself, I think is really fun. But he is like in Old, he delivers like the pivotal speech explaining what's happening, and I was like, all right, buddy, like I get it. If I was in the same position, I'd put myself in the movie too.
Yeah.
The one time I made a movie, I put myself in it. But you don't have to be this big of a character.
Yeah, I don't. You can be the guy who walks by and stumbles, and the main character throws a quip your way.
You can go up to the table and say, "Your drink, madam." You know,
Oh, yeah,
you can be
there
the
you go.
waiter. You know,
Anything else I can get you?
You can take an order. You can be a concierge. You know, but like 4 lines of dialogue max.
I agree with that.
30 words. Anyway.
Well, I guess Jon Favreau cast himself in the Iron Man movies, though, didn't he?
Yes, but Happy Hogan, I will say Happy Hogan in the first one, he's barely in it. He's got like 2 scenes, right? Like he drives him home.
I don't. I don't remember those. Iron Man was like 30 years ago, and
yeah.
so
my
much
memory of
Marvel has
Iron Man.
happened since then.
My memory of Iron Man is like, and also I give Jon Favreau a little bit of an asterisk because he is an actor who
Fair.
directs. You know, like he was an actor who had a full career as an actor.
He did write himself
and
into
as a
the
writer.
role that's being fought over by Scarlett Johansson.
You know,
and
you know,
Sofia Vergara.
people give him shit about this. You know, if it was a gay movie and nobody would bat an eye because they'd be like, oh, maybe they're into bears. Maybe both of those women are into bears. Fat guys can have women be into them, okay? I'm
not saying it's unbelievable. I'm saying it is interesting and funny to me that you wrote the movie where you're like, I get to eat pasta for 90 minutes and also Scarlett Johansson and Sofia Vergara are throwing themselves at me.
Also, I find the Scarlett Johansson one more offensive because they have a huge age gap than I do. She's way more attractive than he is. I mean, isn't she like 30 and he's like probably pushing 50?
At the time, you mean, or now?
I just mean, aren't they like a 20-year age gap?
I would think they're more like a 10, maybe a 15.
I think Johnny Fobbs is way older than you think he is.
Really? Well, good for him.
Yeah, it's. Anyway, I don't have any. People give it. First of all, I think that movie is cozy and nice.
Yeah.
And second of all, if I was to write a movie where I was a chef and got to make, beautiful food, he's 58. I gotta imagine ScarJo is no older than 40.
I'm gonna guess she's 40 even.
42. I'm gonna say 40 exactly. So they have a pretty big age gap.
I guess it just doesn't feel like it to me. I don't know why.
He was graduating high school when she was born. So that's a pretty wide gap. Anyway, back to high school. You see that transition? That's a podcasting pro there. 300 episodes. I love that Anthony Michael Hall. It's his mom dropping him off, right? Not his
mom
dad.
and sister.
No, yeah, she's like, "All right, we have to study." And he's like, "No studying allowed." I'm like, what? What?
It is I never had detention like this.
Oh, I was going to ask, did you ever have detention? I did have detention one time.
I think I had an after-school detention in middle school once.
I also had an after-school detention in middle school once.
But it wasn't. It was just like you have to be in the library for. But I was also on student council, so they were like, you can just do student council stuff.
So mine was in. I don't remember what I did, but I remember that it was music class of all things, and I had to stay. Like, it was like, you have to come back to my classroom at the end of the day.
Oh.
And be here. And I was like, okay. And for whatever reason, I had some activity after school, or a friend did, or something. Mm-hmm. And so I never told mom and dad, because like I was able to, like, I'm telling them now, I guess.
Did you ever?
Statute of limitations. No,
oh.
I don't know. I honestly don't know that I ever did tell. Maybe I did in some point and don't remember. It seems entirely possible. But, it was like it worked out perfectly that I was just like, oh, I guess I was like, I just don't have to tell them because I'm getting a ride home and they'll never know. Mm-hmm. So like, this is fine. And I just moved on. But yeah, I have no idea what I did to earn a detention, but I got a detention.
Was it like, wait, I thought in middle school it was like choir, orchestra, and band. There was like just plain music?
Yeah, because so she was like a young teacher. She was attractive, and a bunch of guys convinced her to be the coach of our like rec league hockey team because we needed one.
Okay.
And so she it was a weird situation. In hindsight, I'm like, was there something inappropriate happening here? Seems weird.
You went to the same middle school as me, right?
Yeah.
It might have been the woman who ended up transitioning to the high school and became the orchestra teacher, if I'm thinking of...
She was like fairly tall and blonde. I don't remember her. Like, if you said her name, I might not remember it. Or like blonde adjacent.
No, I remember her having dark hair because she also did stuff in musicals.
Yeah. I don't remember this person's name, so I don't feel like I'm casting aspersions about like, is something inappropriate going on? Because I don't remember their name.
Yeah.
But she coached the hockey team inexplicably. Either mine or a friend's team, I don't remember. But anyway, I got in trouble for something and I had to stay, and I never told mom and dad because I managed to have a ride home, and it never became a problem. So
Okay.
That's my one detention.
But yeah, I'm like, normally...
But it was, sorry, to answer your question, it was like just a general music class, because I remember there being a thing where we like brought in music for people to listen to, and this is when I was in my heavy metal, like
Black
AC/DC
Sabbath
phase. Yeah. And it was like you're going to play songs and people have to guess the band. And people were like, he's going to play this like boring old people, whatever. And she was like, if the thing that he has is, working double time on the seduction line, you guys should know that classic song. I don't care if it's old music. Like, old music is good. And I was like, well, everyone's going to think that I'm going to pick AC/DC, so I'm going to pick Creedence Clearwater Revival because no one will be able to tell the difference, and I will win because it was like you were trying to stump people. And so I did that, and no one got it.
Shocking that people like couldn't tell the difference between Creedence and AC/DC.
Yeah, I mean, middle school kids. The other funny thing about that is a kid who would give me shit about that later, like, became a guitar player, loved AC/DC, and I remember in high school, like, running into him at something, and he was like, why did we give you so much shit about this? I was like, I don't know. And he was like, they fucking rule. I was like, I know they do. I agree. They're a great band.
And that
like,
kid, Dean Winchester.
Dean Winchester, yeah. It's like, yeah, man, they've put out 25 albums. They all sound exactly the same, whether it's 1976 or 2025. They have a thing, they do it, and they only do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, not being able to study inexplicably, because I'm like...
You'd think it's like quiet reading, studying, or homework.
Right.
Because these are...
Instead, they want you to just raw dog this. Yeah, it's like they want you to raw dog this 9-hour period.
Which, longer than a school day.
Yeah. Also, this comes up later, but we see the doors of the library, and it has hours of operation. And it's like Monday through Friday, 8 to 3:30, Saturday, Sunday closed. It's like, yeah, no shit. It's a school library. Why does it have hours?
Wild. It's also the craziest looking high school library I've seen.
Yes. Yeah. There's this huge, like, I don't know the artist, but like very nice sculpture in the middle of it.
It feels like in Parks and Rec, they'd go to Eagleton High for something.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
And then Kristen Bell would pop in and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. This is the library. The library is where you keep books. We're meeting down the hall." Like, yeah.
Yeah. Paul Gleason is the name of the actor who plays this authority figure.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Maybe Principal Vernon.
Yeah. And he assigns them all a 1,000-word essay on who they think they are. And I love the, like, principliness of this, because is it, tell me who you think you are. Who do you think you are?
Yeah,
you know?
Yes. But it's crazy to me that he's doing this for a room where only one of these people is, like, a repeat shithead. Everyone else is a first-time offender.
He's very clearly mad that he has to be there, which, like, I get it. He it's not like he has a lot of entertainment options.
You're the reason you're there, buddy. Like, you could say,
yeah,
don't let it happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, it's not like this detention is going to make John Bender a better person or any of these kids, frankly. Right. Also, I guess Anthony Michael Hall, we'll get there later.
We'll get there.
The whole thing is very confusing. Also, all these kids, it's clearly Chicago because it's a John Hughes movie. It's clearly the wintry time. All these kids are in their huge coats in this library. I'm like, this building is 74 degrees. This is outrageous to me that these people are all sitting in coats.
Well, it's funny.
Like, the second I cross a doorway, that coat's coming off.
Bender is dressed kind of like, oh my God, Adventures in Babysitting. Don't fuck with the babysitter.
Oh, sure. He is almost exactly dressed like Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue. What is her character's name? Oh my God, that's going to drive me nuts. Chris
Chrissy?
Chris Hargensen. Okay. Nope, that's Chris Hargensen is Carrie, but it's Chris. Bender, I just fucking hate him. We'll get through it once we go through it. But he refers to the principal as a brownie hound, and I was like, I don't know what, is that a gay slur?
I thought this was a pedophile joke.
What would that mean?
Brownies are Girl Scouts with, like, the real little ones.
Oh, huh. That feels like a long walk.
I have no idea, but that's what I assumed.
Also, Bender again, I haven't watched this in, like, I don't know, 10 years maybe. Bender feels so gay. Like,
I mean, that would explain a lot of his problems.
Oh yeah. Like, I was like, did he always feel like this?
That's interesting. I didn't get gay from him, but I did get, like, let's be honest. Most kids of this age will stick up for another kid against the principal authority figure, no questions asked. They do it so
I would not.
many times.
Sorry.
And he's such a fucking dickhead. It's like, yes, we find out he has a very bad home life, and
Not an
like, you know,
excuse.
he has a reason. He has a reason to be a dickhead. Yeah, I know, but you know, hurt people, right? Like it's not an excuse, but it is a reason,
explanation,
right? Yeah, explanation.
But I'm like,
that's a better way to say
frankly, they do they like, oh, we'll hide him the one time. And then he sexually assaults Molly Ringwald while she's doing it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, that's at the point where you're like, oh, I guess there's someone crawling under the table. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. The whole thing with her and him, like my vague memory of this movie. Yeah, I do too. That is the one part of this movie that I outright hate. Like, I cannot believe how poorly this has aged and how awful it feels. Because even with the excuse of, oh, she's doing this to make her parents mad, he's not nice to her at all.
No.
Like, it's like, and also, not for nothing, this kid looks like he's kind of stinky, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a boy who's regularly showering, you know?
Yeah.
And so she's like kissing his neck later.
And
I'm
also,
like, that is...
her fooling around with him in school where no one can see is not going to piss off her parents.
Right. The missing earring will, but
Yeah.
that's, you know... we'll get to more of this as we go, obviously. I also found it very funny that he gives all of them a single sheet of paper to write their 1,000-word essay. I was like, you better write really neatly, kids.
Well, also, like, I mean, obviously it was a thing, but, like, I can't imagine knowing how many words that, like, I would going back and counting.
You would have to count.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think you'd have to do it periodically. I think you'd do like a paragraph and you'd count the words, and you'd do another paragraph and you'd count the words, and then you would try to, like, as you're going, try to, you know, it's like you do a 5-paragraph theme. You try to make each paragraph about 200 words.
Okay. Sure.
You know, that's how I think that's what you would come up with as you were working on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to write this essay. He gives them all a single sheet of paper and a pencil, and Judd Nelson, Bender, just immediately starts fucking with every single person in the room, like just like running them down, making fun of them, whatever he can come up with.
Is an asshole, and then he gets treated like an asshole, and he has the gumption, and the balls to like act surprised Pikachu face, and it's like, yeah, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, motherfucker.
Yeah. Now, I will say, he's supposed to be the annoying guy, and he does a great job at it. He annoys the shit out of you. Similarly, Anthony Michael Hall is just a gem in this movie.
Delightful.
I find him so delightful. Yeah.
It's so funny that, like, in, I don't know, 10 years, less than 10, he would play the John Bender type in, like, the John Bender meets Emilio Estevez type in Edward Scissorhands. It's so weird.
Sure, right. Yeah, it is about 10 years.
He becomes a beefed up jock asshole.
I think that beefing up is probably him being like, I'm so sick of playing this one character. I have to physically change
100%.
myself or I'm never going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Emilio drops the most accurate F-bomb in cinema history, where the jock, calls Bender an F-bomb. Accurate.
Real. We'll clarify.
Yeah, fair. But the other thing I was thinking about at this point in the movie is, like, and we touched on this already, like, how awful this assignment is as an administrator or teacher. It's like, I guess if you're a reader, you bring a book, which, like, you know, I like to read. I'd probably bring
You're
a
also
book,
in a library.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what the adult literature is, not like porn, but like the literature for it. Like, I don't know if they have a Stephen King section here. Maybe.
Oh, you mean for him? Oh, got it.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I think for the kids.
For
I was
the
like,
teacher.
the kids could go to any of the bookshelves.
No. I'm talking about the administrator whose job it is to oversee this 9-hour detention.
Yeah.
Which is absurd. So, like, I had that he brought, like, one of those little TVs, you know, like the handheld jobbers.
Oh, okay.
And I had totally made up that happens. It must be a different John Hughes movie.
Or like Ship in a Bottle would have been a fun one for him.
Sure, yeah. Jigsaw puzzle, you know? It's like he doesn't do anything to sort of occupy his time. It's like, no wonder he's mad. He's bored. But yeah, even if you are a huge reader and it's like, well, 9 hours of reading, it's like, I would rather do anything else with my Saturday. Like, the idea of a 9-hour detention is so fucking ludicrous to me. Like,
Longer than a school
you would have
day.
to... And you would also have to pay this teacher, right? Like, this is a full extra day of
I feel
work.
like they're getting a sub for that, and they're like, here's $1.75 for the day.
Maybe, but like, god damn, man, like 9 hours you want me to sit here?
Well, also, like, I wonder in, like, probably more today's world, but it's parents being like, I work from midnight to noon at the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, my kid doesn't have a way in, so figure something else out.
Yeah, for sure.
I live 6 miles from the school. My kid isn't getting there.
Right. I love the door is too heavy, sir. Bender takes the screw out of the door so the door won't stay open.
And it's the first time they all like cover for him.
Yeah, now this one makes sense, right? It's like he has improved all of your situation in that the guy can't really see in, right? This is like this is harming no one. Okay, fine. He's a loser and this is a pain in the ass, but like this one net positive for the team. The next one is just like you just get more and more ludicrous. But I love he starts to get the door and he's like, that door is way too heavy for that chair, sir. And then it just like rockets and you hear him in the hallway cursing and stomping around. And then he makes Emilio help him move the magazine rack. And Bender rightfully points out that you're blocking a fire door. And Paul Gleason's like, what are you doing? Like as if it was Emilio's idea.
Done it himself. Yeah.
Classic. This guy's like just nails this type of like the performance part of this authority figure. Magnificent.
And then Bender gets 2 months detention.
Yeah, he just keeps lining them up. This was a Family Guy gag, right? They just did this scene where like, you want another? How about another?
Oh, maybe they did.
I feel like they did this exact scene. Yeah. We got a nice boredom montage. Emilio doing the strings on his. All the montages in this movie work really well, I think. I like the strings on the hoodie a lot.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Left, right, looking around. Okay, now I have to ask you something very specific, and I should have texted it to you when I knew you were watching it today. Sure. So during the montage of boredom, Molly Ringwald is like making pouty lips.
I thought she was horny.
Okay. Because Anthony Michael Hall seems like he gets a boner and puts
He does. That's fully the bit that he does.
Okay. Never had noticed that before in any previous watch.
But the first time they cut to her, I was like, she's making goo-goo eyes. I was like, is she looking at Estevez? But no, it's just, I think it's just a bored face that happens to read a little horny.
Yeah. And Anthony Michael Hall is clearly watching her because he has to put his hat in his lap. Okay. I'm glad that you had saw that, and this wasn't just me seeming weird. Ali Sheedy does a great thing with her dandruff, which is disgusting.
Awful, but
kind of
clever.
Kind of very memorable.
Clearly is hitting on Molly Ringwald, and when she's like, I don't know if I'm going to go, and then talks about her family a little bit, he immediately turns into like a pickup artist where he's like, oh, you're breaking my heart. Screw you. Everyone's life is hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, literally a minute ago, you were clearly asking her out.
Yes. Also, who invited you into this conversation?
No, it's him. It was those two talking.
I thought he was talking to Emilio.
No, it's
she's talking to Emilio about the party.
And Emilio says, "You're breaking my heart." Like he does the Bender thing for a second, and I was like, "No, that's not for you. Don't do that."
Yeah.
Bender is an asshole and wildly inappropriate and sexually explicit with Molly Ringwald.
And just starts casually destroying a book, which I found very annoying.
Like, I fucking hate his character. And I didn't...
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling this, like, impassioned about it back in the day, but boy, do I hate him now.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things of it is that when, you saw this movie a few times, and the thing that you remembered was like his big scene about his awful home life, and then you're like, oh well, it makes sense that this guy's a dick. Like, his life is awful, and then it's like you keep watching it, and you watch it now and through different eyes, and it's just like, I mean, I understand that it's hard not to be a dick if everyone is always a dick to you. But it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. It's not carte blanche. You having a horribly abusive home life is not carte blanche to treat people however you want. Like, that's just not how that works.
Right. In particular, just like yelling at people all the time.
Who've done nothing to you. Movie. The custodian walks in, does his job, says hi to Anthony Michael Hall, and immediately Bender's like, isn't it pathetic that you're a janitor? Fuck fucking shit.
Also,
and I was like, he didn't do anything to anybody.
Also, Carl the janitor comes in, says what's up to Anthony Michael Hall by name, and they all are like giggling about it. And I'm just like, why is this weird that why is this such a thing that it's like, it's not like they're best buds. He was just like, oh, hey, Brian, there were plenty of staff members at my high school that I knew their name and they knew mine, and I would say hello to them. Not all of them, but a number of them.
I was just like, okay. Frankly, I wanted the real punchline to be he's the, what do you call it? The teacher who's like, sponsor, sure, who like your club.
Oh,
like he's like the sponsor.
The janitor club. Is the physics club.
Like that would have been a great
liaison. Yeah. Yeah, they never explain like why the two of them know each other, but they're like very strange about it.
Because frankly, he should know Bender, not Brian.
Right. Yeah. My guess is like Brian probably said hello to him with kindness in his heart because he's pretty much the only character in this movie who seems pleasant to be around.
Yeah.
And he just probably was walking down the hallway as Carl was pushing a broom, and he was like, hello. And Carl said hello. And then, a week went by, they passed each other again, and he was like, hello. And then hello. And then like the third or fourth time
Carl,
was like,
hello, Carl, because Carl's on his jumpsuit.
And hello, Carl, I'm Brian. Nice to meet you. And like that was it. And that's probably the extent of it. And Carl was probably like, oh, one of these shitheel kids isn't a complete monster. Honestly, there's probably a deleted scene in which Carl has to fix the locker that Anthony Michael Hall sets on fire, and he like feels sad about it and apologizes.
You're right. That's probably it. But yeah, I was like, but like.
Also, this is what I kept thinking of. People really hate Ferris Bueller, even you a little bit, and I don't understand it. And I don't want to.
I don't hate Ferris Bueller. I'm less dazzled by him as an adult.
That's fine. But people talk about Ferris Bueller as if he is John Bender.
Oh yeah, that,
the online discourse. Not. The online discourse about Ferris Bueller is like he's a prick, he's an asshole, and it's like no, John Bender is an asshole.
I think Ferris.
You don't have to like Ferris Bueller. Yeah, that's probably accurate. But it's like Ferris Bueller is not a prick. John Bender is a prick.
Yeah, Ferris isn't actively mean.
Right. Ferris is actively nice throughout the movie, I would argue. Yeah. But we don't have to relitigate. We get a tough guy standoff with Emilio and Judd Nelson here. Is this where they wrestle and Emilio takes it down and then Judd's like, just kidding, man, and pulls out the knife?
I think so. Yeah, I get whiplash.
Oh yeah, he pulls the knife out, he stabs into a chair, and then Ali Sheedy.
I love that.
Her performance in this is fantastic.
I hope it was unscripted. I'm sure it wasn't, but like he stabs it into the chair and takes like a step forward, so it's just enough in the background that two hand reaches across and grabs the knife and just yoinks it,
as if she's pulling the sword from the stone.
It's so good.
It's an awesome little performance. She is fantastic in this. Like doesn't have as much dialogue as everybody else, and really makes every second count.
Yeah, I like her a lot. And then I started thinking about her in Psych and how good she was in Psych.
Oh man, she was fantastic in that 3 episodes. They definitely got her. They definitely got Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
There's an Anthony Michael Hall Psych episode too, right?
I think so. Yes.
So I wonder if the only one they didn't get was Emilio and Ali Sheedy, maybe,
or
Molly Ringwald. But Molly Ringwald might have been in one too.
I feel like she would have. I mean, Molly Ringwald did Riverdale, and she did that American Teenager show. Like, I feel like she would have done TV.
She did Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah,
it's not like Molly Ringwald. Though I like Molly Ringwald, but it's not like people were banging down the door.
No, I want to watch those Psych episodes now with Ali Sheedy because I remember her being such a good
I used to go back to that trilogy of episodes pretty frequently. It's like my favorite Psych episodes. The Yang.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's 3 consecutive season finales. It's like a movie basically.
Yeah.
Really, I think they're really good.
Because Judd Nelson, in his later career, I don't know what Ali Sheedy did much, but Judd Nelson in his later career really leaned into like scuzzy heels.
Yeah.
Like I remember I caught it randomly. I don't know what it's called. It might be just called like The Cabin on the Lake or something. But he plays like a serial killer who I don't know if when they're alive or when they're dead, but he like takes his victims or their bodies or whatever and chains them up under the lake, like Jason Voorhees style.
Sure. Yeah.
And then like a bunch of times in the movie, he like dons scuba gear and like goes into the lake to be with his people.
I have seen a clip of this. Yeah, it's like his garden.
Yes. He calls it his garden.
I have seen a clip of this, if not part of the movie. He also has a starring role in the Lifetime film From Straight A's to Triple X, which I keep trying to get my wife to watch, which is about a Duke University student.
Oh, that's
where
right.
My wife went.
The porn. Who did porn.
Yeah, who got into porn. Yeah. And she's like, why would we want to watch that? And I was like, I mean, it seems
It's
like
funny.
it would be bad and entertaining. Yeah. Much like... awful person, I know, but there is a movie about J.K. Rowling coming up with the idea for Harry Potter, but it's like a made-for-TV movie.
Exactly what we make fun of when we talk about prequels and shit.
There is literally a scene in the trailer in which she watches two men in the park play chess and then imagines the chess pieces coming to life and fighting each other, and I was just like, no, she just knew what chess was.
She sees a hairy man throwing clay on a pottery wheel.
Yep. It's that. It is like that level of, because no one can figure out how to make writing interesting because it's just a person sitting at a pad or sitting at a keyboard or whatever. Like it's inherently uninteresting to watch.
I mean, if they were able to make chess visually interesting for Queen's Gambit, eventually we're going to get writing it visually interesting.
You can certainly do it, but it's like no one can figure out how to visualize the inspiration part. I think like the movie that best gets being in a flow state and how like creativity works is Soul, the parts of Soul where Joel is like really getting into it with the music. It's to me the best representation I've ever seen of what it feels like to be like in a creative groove and get into that flow state. But it's just, whenever it's a writer, it's always like, there's a very funny short called George Lucas in Love where it's about him getting the ideas for Star Wars. And he's like walking across campus and there's a guy in a convertible in a cool vest with a big fluffy dog sitting next to him. And it's like, say, it's like, that's the whole thing is that. Anyway, tough guy standoff, steal a switchblade. Oh, this is when the janitor comes in and everybody's a dick to him for no reason.
We get more virgin conversation. I think that might be what causes the fight, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's constantly razzing Molly Ringwald trying to find out if she's a virgin, which later Ali Sheedy gets in on, which is really just like, God damn it. Like the women hate the women too.
You can sit down, Ali. We're good. Thank you.
They trick the principal into letting them go get beverages.
Soda. I always love Claire's sushi setup. Like she has the little glass,
so funny,
the little glass stopper bottle of soy sauce. Oh my god!
Is it a little stopper bottle? I thought it was like a mini Kikkoman. The one with like the open top.
It doesn't. It just hasn't. I figured it was a stopper bottle because it's just a small glass like bud vase with an open top, which like seems crazy to just put that loose in a paper bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like. I mean, this is back when sushi in America was the craziest thing people could think of.
Yeah. And then Emilio busts out like a 3,000 calorie lunch. It's 3 sandwiches, a full bag of chips, a bag of donuts,
a full bag of cookies,
an entire half gallon of milk.
Oh, God.
Or maybe it's a quart, but whatever. Which has been sitting at room temp.
I was going to say, I was like, have these been... I mean, also her sushi.
Yeah. I mean, sushi should be like good sushi, should be warmer and not cold.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. 4 hours
I don't know what she's
feels like a
here.
long time to be in the danger zone.
I agree.
Did you catch that? Because Ali Sheedy makes her awful sandwich. Did you notice that she only throws one piece of olive loaf out of her sandwich? So her sandwich was 2 slices of Wonder Bread and with one single slice of olive loaf in between.
With like 2 tablespoons of butter smeared on one of the slices.
Oh, I forgot about that. But yeah, I was like,
yes,
I know that we are an aggressive sandwich family. I'm aware of this, that like we sandwich more like Scooby and Shaggy.
Yes.
But like normal people think
one piece of lunch meat is not a sandwich.
A weird sandwich.
And especially with olive loaf where there is like holes, like the bread is touching in parts.
Oh, 100%. Not even a slice of cheese?
Yeah, right? Also very French to have like butter and then also bologna. Inexplicable.
Yeah, again, we're more Scooby-Doo in our sandwich making, and I get that because I'll make it like 4 or 5 inches high, and my boyfriend's like, how are you gonna eat that? And I'm like, I'll figure it out. I toasted the bread with a creme brulee torch. I'll figure this out.
Here's my sandwich thing that drives my wife crazy. I want the thinnest possible slice of tomato for a sandwich, unless it's a BLT,
okay.
in which case
you want the beefsteak.
Yeah.
Or, well,
yeah.
that's the thick cut.
Yeah. I want, like, 5 thinner than a
You
pickle
want the
chip.
the Ginsu knife commercial slices that they
I want
the Ron Popeil, cut the rock, then cut the tomato, and it is so thin you can see through it.
serve him a sandwich with some of these. That is my ideal sandwich tomato, where it's all flavor and no messing up the texture with too much goo. Yeah. So I like the tomato flavor, but I don't want any tomato
goo
in there, basically. I want a soupçon of tomato. And she always gets really mad because I'm cutting these, like, wafer thin tomatoes. And I was like, I'll cut yours however you want. I want wafer tomatoes.
I want to be able to take this one slice of tomato out of the tomato, and when I push them together, I can't
so
tell
she
there's
makes
a
a
slice missing.
very, very high person sandwich, which is butter, Captain Crunch, and Pixie Sticks.
I mean, I love Cap'n Crunch.
I also love the
white bread and
Foley,
butter.
which is like the loudest crunch
I don't know
you could
about
possibly
this.
have. It's like a rock tumbler full of gravel.
Yes. Bender, like this to me is like the first of 2 times that I like really set me off. They're all eating their lunch, and Brian is
He senses
silently,
moments of
like,
weakness.
not looking
and
at
he
anyone,
just,
not
like,
talking to
horns
anyone.
in. Sorry.
Puts his bag on the table, and Bender immediately comes over, grabs the bag, and starts taking shit out of it. And then that's why I if I
Me
was there, I
too.
would have fucking
Yeah.
laid into him. But he like does this whole thing like, and in my head I remembered him like smashing the food, and I was like, if you do that, if I'm gonna be like, and so he sees all this and then goes like, these are all the food groups. Let me show you what I think life is like in your house. And I'm like, I was like, if I was there, I would have stood up and be like, and again, everyone, Brian did fuck all to prompt this.
Oh, sure he
Like,
is.
he just decided to put on this show.
Right.
And like, to me,
yeah.
that's desperate
Right.
for attention, because you're doing this because you want someone to say, well, what about your home life? You're desperate to fucking talk about
Also,
it. Which, like, I get it. It's a shitty
proceeds
home
to,
life.
like, do
but
an
like,
impression of Brian's home life, which seems
if you want to be alone,
nice.
be alone. Don't drag other people down
like
with
a
you.
good house to live in, right? Like, it seems nice. It's like, hey, Dad, you want to go? Hey, son, you want to go fishing? I can't, Dad. I have homework. Well,
Fine,
bring your
like,
homework on the
I don't
boat.
know.
It's like, what exactly is he making fun of here? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, ho, 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 Brian's family loves him. What a loser.
Yeah, it's just because he's begging to have someone
Right.
ask, what about your home life, so that he can be like,
Yeah.
mine's shitty, don't you feel bad? It's like, no, I don't feel bad,
Yeah.
because you're treating
Right.
everyone like shit.
Well, I'll be honest. I do feel bad. I still don't like you.
Yeah. But it feels like he wants to do it so that people like, so that he can say that as like his reasoning for everything.
And then he like storms off so theatrically. It just is like it just doesn't make any
You
sense.
chose to put on this pageant, mon frere.
Right.
You
Right.
made these choices. I feel Bender feels very Gina from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, how was I supposed to know there'd
sure.
be consequences for my actions?
Yeah, for sure. We cut to Paul Gleason having lunch in his office, and he spills I guess it's soup, coffee,
I
whatever
think
the
it's
sludge
supposed to
is.
be coffee.
But I also noticed in the background he has like a sexy babe poster.
Oh, I
and
didn't
was like,
catch
what?
that.
What educator has a sexy babe calendar? This is ridiculous.
I mean, it was the 80s, so like no one gave a shit about stuff, but
it's like a woman in a red one piece, but she's like posing next to a red. You know how they have like mechanic toolboxes,
Yeah.
and there's like a hot babe next to them. It's like that.
oh, huh. I totally missed that. We smash cut to them all taking a journey to Bender's locker, and I was like, well, what happened between, like,
Yeah,
something happened between there and now.
right. This gave me real high school flashbacks. These 2-stage lockers with like the upper cubby.
With the upper cubby
I'm
for your
sure
books.
I am sure that I have told this story on the podcast before, but one of the 2
pencils?
times I got in trouble in my life, yes, I you could put a pencil in the top in such a way that you could like bang the door and it would not open, but it was like very satisfying to do. Yeah. And I was standing at my friend Mark's locker doing this, and then I slammed it and it like shut with the pencil in it. And so he's like trying to open it and it won't open, and it's like shit. And then the bell rang and we're like, all right, we'll deal with this later. And I guess we didn't. I don't remember what happened, but it was like he couldn't get it open, so he had to tell people he couldn't get it open. And so they had to get a janitor, and of course, like Mark is telling this story. He was a guy who could tell quite a theatrical story in high school. Yeah, and he's telling the story of like the janitor's got a crowbar and he's like pouring sweat and he's like, "Who did this? Who did this?" And Mark like cracked under the pressure, Seinfeldian style, of like, "It was Trip. It's like, you didn't have to rat me out. You could have just said I don't know until they stopped asking. Like, it's not like they were." So I get called to the principal's office for the first time in my life, and the principal starts talking to me about this, and I'm like, "Look, we were goofing around. I was not trying to cause this problem. I'm very sorry that it happened and that like somebody had to do all this extra work. Like, I was just very apologetic and sincere of like, I totally did this. I wasn't trying to break something. We were just fooling around. Yeah. It went awry." And he was like, "I've never seen you in here before, so I believe you."
You should have walked him to the cafeteria and pointed to the milk sign.
And he was just like, "If I see you in here again, I'm going to come down on you really hard." And I was like, "That's okay. You won't see me again." And he didn't. Because, like, it was like, yeah, someone had to do work that they didn't need to do, but, like, he got a crowbar out. Yeah, probably snapped the pencil instantaneously. Like, it can't have been hard to fix.
I'm sure that took 3 seconds for him to do.
Yeah.
It was just more annoying that he had to walk to the closet, get the crowbar, walk back.
Exactly. I'm sad that I made that person do extra work. Like, I never want to do any work, so I understand. Like, I do feel bad.
Frankly, that might have been a fun part of his day. That, like,
maybe
it's not putting sawdust on vomit or mopping a hallway. It's something a little different. Never underestimate a small difference in your routine.
Yeah, maybe it was a nice change of pace.
But yeah, they journey to Bender's locker for a lot of weed.
So much weed. I was flabbergasted at how much weed he has.
I was like, why is all of this weed at school? Like, this is a home stash amount of weed.
This is like a very long-term volume of weed.
Yes. Or a party, like you're supplying the whole party situation.
Like a big party.
Yeah, like one of the parties that I would never go to because they give me anxiety.
What's so funny about it is he has like a Coke can's volume of weed, and then when they roll the joints, he rolls the 3 smallest joints in the history of the world. They're the thickness of a iPhone wire.
He gives everyone their own joint. I was like, that's so much weed for people who don't smoke.
Yes. Also, I'm sure I've told this story on the podcast before, but so I got this movie on DVD, but I had mostly watched it on TNT or TBS or whatever. In college, freshman year, people are looking for something to watch. I had put all my DVDs into like a binder to make it take up less space. Yeah, I had this huge collection. People would come around for DVDs all the time. It's like, oh yeah, let's watch Breakfast Club. They get this weed out of the locker. They start smoking the weed, and I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, what? I'm like, I never understood why all the kids get introspective. Like, I always thought it was really weird because on TNT they just cut this sequence out. So
do they show them getting the weed from the locker?
Nope.
So it just shows them going on a little journey and then running from the principal?
I think so, yeah. Huh. And then or maybe they show you get the thing out of the locker and you can't tell really what it is, but they definitely don't show them smoke weed. Yeah. But they definitely do not show them smoke weed on TNT in 1999. Yeah. And so I had never put together, like, they're all high, which is why they start being nice to each other. Mm-hmm. They just, like, get a little introspective. And it was just, like, mind-blowing the first time I saw this.
We get a Scooby-Doo-esque chase through the hallway, which, like...
A lot of fun.
But I'm like, I mean, our high school was decently sized.
Yeah.
How are there this many possible turns you could make and still run into the principal?
Right. Yeah, our high school was, like, a big... it was like square.
Yeah, it was like 2 squares, and then a T in the middle.
Right. There was like a courtyard that you weren't allowed to use, which I always found so inexplicable.
It's there to look at, and that's all.
Yes. Yeah, I was talking to my wife about this, and I was like, where did you eat lunch in high school? And she was like, oh, we would go outside and sit in these benches. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, what about you? I was like, you were only allowed to eat in the cafeteria. Well, no, so like, we had this nice courtyard you couldn't go in.
We did have, it wasn't when you were there. We did have outside seating on the other side. It was so like in the cafeteria, you know how all the windows that look out on that field, the track field or whatever?
Yeah.
There was a door that went out to like a couple metal picnic tables outside.
Oh, I don't think those were there when I was there.
I mean, I also ate in the theater. My friends and I would pull up one of the set, like a table and chairs from the set dressing stuff, and we would eat there.
Yeah. There were those like weird cubby seating areas outside the cafeteria that some people would eat at and occasionally get kicked out of. But I was like, there was this nice courtyard that we would all look at and be like, it sure would be nice to eat lunch out there. And it was
also a small courtyard. It was like,
yeah, it would have been first come, first serve, but like 50 kids could have eaten lunch out there. It's like 50. You could have sat on the ground. Yeah. So Bender takes the fall for the kids can't get back. There's like a locked gate, and they have to like give up what they're doing. So he decides to take the fall for everybody. He starts making a lot of noise, lets everybody get back to the room. Gleason takes him and locks him in a closet, but before he locks him in there alone, he calls him like a worthless piece of shit and tries to get him to punch him, and it's just like the most ludicrous human being behavior I could imagine of this full-grown man.
It is, but also like it proves that like Bender's got no follow-through. Like,
no, this is the one scene in the movie where Bender is smart, because if he punches this guy, he's going to fucking jail.
But I mean, you could say, hey, he locked me in a fucking closet. Like,
who's going to believe him? That's the whole preamble. Is like, who's going to take your word? You're a fucking loser kid. I'm a principal.
Well, what pisses me off
whatever I
is
say.
That after this scene, Bender should not be an asshole at all. This is the scene that should have fucking clicked in his little brain that like, oh, the path I've been on is a path of ruin and solitude and like. He's right. He could do whatever he wants to me in this moment, and there's nothing like that should have fucking been the light bulb moment that made him not an asshole. And instead, it's just like, no, he's just an asshole for the rest of the movie.
Right. There's like a couple brief glimmers of what you're talking about, but I totally agree. Like there's no character arc for Bender where he becomes a nicer person. And like that's kind of the point of the movie, right? There's a scene that comes up. We're kind of jumping all over the place, but who cares? There's a sequence not long after this where the kids are kind of having a heart-to-heart, and Anthony Michael Hall is like, so what happens on Monday? And Molly Ringwald, to her credit, honestly, that she doesn't lie to him.
She's not mean. She's not mean about it. She's not snide.
It is a mean thing that she says, but it is just said matter of fact.
She just says, we're not going to be friends on Monday. Like, she's not like, how dare you think that, like, there's no tone to it. It's just, this is the truth. We're looking at the truth here, and this is what high school looks like. Which, like, frankly, that's better than her pretending and gushing and being like, no, we're definitely going to be friends forever. And like,
yeah, and I like that, like, Emilio Estevez is like, you're a bitch, and she's like, what are you going to do when he walks up to you in front of your friends?
Emilio doesn't call her a bitch. He says that's mean. He said that's not nice or whatever. And she calls him out, and she's like, really? So when the wrestling team's all hanging out, and this little nerdlinger walks up to you, you're gonna be cool about it, and then Jelson Nudd calls her a bitch and lays into her, and it's like, why? Because she's like not pretending, like she's telling the truth in this situation.
And then she accurately says to him, she's like, are you going to bring him out in the field and get him high with all your friends? No. And then he gets all pissy and like, don't you talk about my friends? And she's like, I'm not. I'm talking about you.
But what's funny to me is that he's like, oh, like, you're a bitch that you would treat someone that way. And then he's like, you don't dare talk about my friends. And it's like, okay, remember how we're all talking about we're slaves to our friend group? Like, that's kind of the point here, buddy boy. Right.
And I will say, it's like, this is part of the when you're watching this. As I was watching this movie, I was thinking a lot about how and we've talked about this many times on the podcast, is like different things hit differently for different stages of your life. Movies that you really liked at one stage of your life can feel awful later, and all sorts of run the gamut. I feel like this movie is very much like The Catcher in the Rye, that if you get it in your hands when you're angsty at 13 or 15 or whatever the appropriate age is for you, it's like resonant and meaningful, and a book that you will probably get something out of. Maybe Only Men, I don't know. I'm a man, I read it and I had that feeling. If I read Catcher in the Rye right now, I would think Holden Caulfield was a shithead. Like, I am sure that I would hate him. Like, he is a very unlikable character, I think.
I said something similar at one point with Mom when I was talking about the thing, Perks of Being a Wallflower is the book. And I was like, it's the book that every fucking angsty art kid reads when they think they're the most interesting person in the world and no one... and people don't appreciate them. And I was like, I'm sure if I read it now, I'd be like, oh my God, shut up.
Yeah. And so I feel like I watched this movie when I was feeling like an angsty teen or preteen or whatever, and it, like, all this stuff that they talk about, like, really resonates. The fact that they're talking about their social groups, the fact that they're talking about the fact that there isn't a lot of upward mobility in social groups. Now, I don't think our high school was as intensely cliquey as this one, at least in my experience.
So it was cliquey, but it wasn't a pyramid. It was just a line. It's kind of how I'm like, I didn't, like, they make fun of me for saying, I'm like, I didn't grow up in some, like, idyllic whatever, but, like,
right.
If I went up to the...
People were mean to each other. It just wasn't this, like, top down.
It wasn't like, ooh, that's the plastics, you don't walk in there. It was like, people thought they were that, and everyone was like, I don't know what no. And then I was like, if I walked up to the athletes and tried to, like, start a conversation, they'd be like, okay, hey, like, I don't, like, what are you doing?
Right. Like, if you had a genuine reason to, like, if you shared a class with someone who was a football player and he was wearing his uniform and you walked up to him and you were like, hey, did you get the homework? I wasn't paying attention. That person wouldn't be like, oh, you effing F word. You know what I mean? Like,
no, exactly.
They would, very realistic, they would be like, oh, yeah, it was this. Or, no, I don't know. Or whatever. And it wouldn't be like, that interaction concluded and you left and they all were like, loser kid. Like, that's not how it would have gone.
Like, that's just not how it worked in our school.
That's how it seemed to go in a John Hughes movie, but it's not anything I experienced.
I will say, I know a lot of people who claim that was their high school experience. So, like, I get it.
It's very possible it was elsewhere. I don't mean to speak.
We went to school in a kind of cool place, which I'm cool. I'm happy about that. Like,
right.
Things worked out like that. But it's funny. So
I was the editor of the literary magazine and captain of the football team, and it wasn't a problem for.
Oh, the lit.
It wasn't. But I'm saying
I would have made
that
fun
was
of
a problem. That was a problem for neither group.
No, yeah, exactly. But we had this thing. I don't know if they had it when you were around or not. I feel like they didn't, because if they did, you would have been tapped for it, like I was.
Okay.
So there was this thing called Link. I think it was like...
Is this the secret retreat you got to go on?
Yeah.
I was always so curious what the hell this was.
I've never talked about it with you?
I mean, I'm sure you have, and I don't remember, but I remember when kids, like, went on it, I was like, what was that?
So it's called Link, Leadership in Networking Kids, which is a dumb acronym because it
is a bad acronym.
It sounds very like Jack Donaghy, like...
Yeah.
And so you can get selected for it when you're a sophomore or a junior, sometimes freshman, but very rarely. And then if you've done it once, you can apply to be a senior leader. And
I see.
When you're senior, they take, I think it's like 8 or 10 seniors or whatever.
Okay.
And they pair you up to, like, lead a color group. But the point of it is that they took, like, natural leaders in social groups. And then, like, kids who might need a little help, whether that's like the troubled kid, like the John Benders, or the the nerds, kind of like pull them out of their shell. And the whole point was that you went to this, like, sleepaway camp.
It was like a weekend,
whole weekend. Like, you went for a whole weekend to the sleepaway camp.
Yeah.
Where you were given a bandana and shirts to wear. And the whole point was, like, it strips away your, like, clique or your identity or your, like... stereotype, basically, that you were all just high school kids. It wasn't athletes and blah 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 blah.
Right.
And so we did, like, ropes courses and trust exercises and stuff. The really fun one, they clipped you into the harness and then you climbed up a telephone pole and jumped off.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really fun. And so, like, I have very vivid memories being the senior, like, because I got to go back as a senior leader, which was fun. And I have, like, very vivid memories of, like, cheering on the purple my purple family when they like climbed up, because it's you think it's going to be fun, then you get up there and you're like, oh, this is every fiber of my body is saying you can't jump off of this thing. So I have very vivid memories, like cheering everyone on, like congratulating everybody. But the moral was basically the Breakfast Club.
Sure.
And it didn't change a fucking thing. Like, right. I made friends, but then we all went back to school and we went back into our cliques. And like, I would like say hi in the hallway, but I didn't like hang out with the people that I like became friends with.
Right.
So like, the concept is cool, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, I played football. That was like got me like I was good enough at this athletic activity to be given the key to this club I wasn't probably otherwise allowed into. You know what I mean? And so like I would go to things and feel out of place at them because like I would have nothing to talk about with the people there. And then, I just, kind of drifted in my own zone eventually and found people who had like shared interests of mine.
You're there doing like, Seinfeld quotes and everyone's like drinking Pabst.
Yeah. People are doing keg stands and I'm like, anybody read the new Stephen King novel?
What's the deal with kegs?
You pump them and then you gotta squirt them. I don't know. They're very heavy. Quickly circling back to the weed so I can turn the page of my notes. I love the moment where Bender gets the weed back from Anthony Michael Hall, and he's like, I'm going to go smoke weed. And Molly Ringwald kind of takes a sec, and she's like, shrug, I'm going. Yeah. And then Anthony Michael Hall, you can see him making the calculation in his head of like, there's a very good chance I will never get offered this again. Mm-hmm. And if I don't go right now, I may never experience this.
Correct.
I'm going to go. And then Emilio goes right after as well. Ali Sheedy, I guess, is the only one who doesn't smoke.
I think she comes around later, I guess.
Yeah, but she doesn't smoke. She doesn't.
Oh, does she? I guess we don't see her smoke. You're right. We also
and then simultaneously
the pervy upskirt shot.
Oh, right. Yes. This
was the sexual assault.
Before this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, this drop ceiling supports Bender's weight until he gets to the library. Somehow.
Yeah. And he's telling this long joke that he just was ad-libbing. It's not really a joke.
Oh, it's not? Okay. I was wondering if there was
I remember looking it up. I remember like looking it up at one point and being like, no, it's not like a common joke, and being like, but yeah, he sexually assaults her. It sucks. But the other thing I think is really interesting is like while the kids are getting high and having a heart-to-heart, Carl and Paul Gleason are having a heart-to-heart, and Paul Gleason's like, these fucking kids, and Carl's like, you wouldn't like you either if you were 17. Like Carl is like the magical character who just like understands everyone's plight and like,
well, he also
fits in around it.
Principal says something like, these kids are going to be the ones that take care of me when I'm older, and I'm like, your students? Like, if they were your children,
I mean,
I would...
No. I think he's talking about, like, they're going to be, like, the caretakers in the old folks' home, not, like, literally they care for him.
Either way, that's a weird, like... I don't know, that feels like a weird, like, conclusion to draw to me.
I guess, yeah.
Also, he only bribes... so, Principal Vernon is also looking at confidential files, which, like, if you're a principal, I feel like you would be able... Like,
who are they... Yeah,
who are they for?
Like, I have always wondered that. It's like, is this is like psyche vals that are like, done in the school?
I guess, maybe this is back when guidance counselors did stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Other than hand out pamphlets and have an office that no one goes in. Yeah. Sorry if you're a high school guidance counselor.
They help somewhat with college.
Didn't help me. I still remember my friend who passed away last year. And when she was talking to the guidance counselor, she was like, "I want a program to like do animal stuff, and I need like, I don't want to be in a big city. I want more like a college town feel or like a very rural place." Yeah. And they were like, "How about Temple?" And she was like, literally nothing that I said, but thanks. You have a great day.
I remember setting my schedule for my senior year, and I had enough math credits that I didn't have to take math. I was like, I had taken some high school math courses early, like my last year of middle school, and so I did not have to take math, and I hated math class. I kind of enjoy some math problem solving now, but I did not then. And I was like, I'm definitely not taking trigonometry. Like,
prob stat?
Absolutely not. And so I was like, I'm not going to take math. And my football coach, who was a nice guy, like I had a good relationship with him, was like, you got to take math. And I was like, I really don't have to take math. I have 6 math credits at this point. Yeah. And he was like, you should take a math class. And I was like, and he was like, take statistics. You're going to have to take it again in college anyway.
Prob stat, baby.
Yeah. So I got it in prob stat, which was the base level math. And I remember
the textbook says probability and statistics in a crayon font on the front.
Yes. They had the like worksheets where like you do a problem and it gives you a letter, and then at the end you have like the answer to a joke. And I would just figure out the answers to the jokes and get the answers. And the teacher would be like, you didn't do this. And I would be like, yeah, but I got the answer. And she would be like, are you going to be able to do it when the test comes? And I would be like,
probably.
Yeah, probably. And she would be like, all right, fine. And the other thing I remember from that class is I had a guy in it who sat in front of me who was a wrestler, and he was like constantly trying to make weight. And so wrestlers trying to make weight, just like Emilio doesn't touch on it in this. I guess he doesn't have this problem. But wrestlers trying to make weight are like basically like killing themselves.
So if someone's making weight, is that always up, or can that be the down one?
I think making weight is always trying to lose enough water weight to fit into a weight class. Because, like, I think most guys, so say you wrestle at 125, you're like walking around every day weight is probably like 130 or 132. And you just like cut weight aggressively to make them meet. And this poor guy, I don't remember what his name was. It might have been Jacques or something. He was constantly falling asleep because he was like not eating. This poor bastard. And the teacher would be like, Jacques, you have to eat. And he would be like, I gotta make this weight. And she would be like, please eat and drink. Like, your body is more important than this.
Yeah, I didn't have to do science my senior year. I had enough credits that I was cool to not do a science, but I took prob stat. I think it ended up being both, and mom and dad were like, you can't not take math and science. It's how I remember it. I was like, that turns out I don't have to take either. And they were like, you have to take
I think they
one.
were correct.
Which,
I think they were
fair.
correct.
Again, but also, like, high school doesn't fucking matter. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I took prob stat.
Yeah. I took 2 English classes one year because I was really interested in the books that they were going to be reading in the one. Oh. And they were like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah, I think that sounds interesting. It was the literature of peace and conflict. And I remember this is like all war books, which I had interest in at the time. And I remember like no one else in the class being excited about the books. And I was always just like, well, why did you take this class? This is not regular English. This is like the one that is you selected to take.
Yeah. I don't remember if they offered that one my senior year.
Anyway, we get to the confessional with the kids here. We're all like,
Emilio's doing cocaine acting, not weed acting. Let's just say
that's true. That's true. Yeah, he is. Maybe he had a little more familiarity with that.
Also, Brian keeps his social security card in his wallet.
Very strange.
Don't do that. Just don't do that. Just be very clear. Don't do that, people.
Also, one of Anthony Michael Hall's resume special skills was I can wear Ray-Bans and talk in a really offensive voice, and I don't know why it pops up in multiple movies of the era. It was just like,
what was the other one?
It's like he does this exact same bit in Weird Science.
I don't remember that in Weird Science. I liked Weird Science. I remember that.
He does this exact same bit when they're like he's like talking in this voice and they're at like a bar.
Oh, yes. Okay.
They go with Kelly LeBrock to this bar and it's a bunch of black men and then Anthony Michael Hall doing
a black voice.
Very offensive black voice, and it's just like, why is this in 2 movies of this era? This is in 2 distinct films. Why?
Yeah. Allison dumps her purse. She's like, don't you know what's in my purse? And dumps it out only to be like, well, how dare you talk about my home life? And I'm like, you invite, again, y'all are fucking inviting it.
Right.
So this was the point where I was like, so much of this movie gives off this like iconically cringe moment in Riverdale where Jughead says to Betty, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a weirdo, Betty. I'm a weird kid. I'm a weirdo. And like goes on this whole diatribe about how weird and unique and different he is.
I'm a creep.
Yeah. And like, again, it's supposed to be cringe because it's high school shit and you should cringe at your high school self. But that's, I was like, oh, that's what I'm feeling for this movie. Got it.
Yeah, we go from that to like she has a heart-to-heart with Emilio to like we're all sitting around doing like confessional, and Ali Sheedy starts sort of berating Molly Ringwald or tricking Molly Ringwald into saying whether or not she's a virgin. She's like, "I'm a nympho. I had sex with my therapist all these times." And it's like, oh wait, what is happening?
That's
like,
a crime.
This is like
let's pack that.
This is a big crime. And then Molly Ringwald. You know, they're like, oh, you're a tease, blah, 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 blah. And they, like, get Molly Ringwald to, like, admit that she's a virgin, and then they're all razzing her about this. And it's funny, like...
This delightfully sexist, anti-woman sex rhetoric.
Yeah. It's just like, I cannot remember anybody giving this much of a shit over whether somebody was a virgin or not.
Never gave a shit. Someone was like, "Oh, I had sex for the first time this week." I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool," but no one cared about it.
Yeah, I can't remember telling anyone, and I can't remember anyone telling me. Like, I just at any time or stage of my life, I do not remember anyone ever giving a shit about
it.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I guess they were cool. They were kind of cool kids. So, like, admitting that you had sex for the first time isn't really a cool kid move, but.
I am sure that guys bragged about having had sex, but I don't think that there was like a, oh, you're a loser virgin angle to it.
Yeah, okay.
And also, it was literally 20 years ago, so it's very possible I just like don't recall this information because it was unimportant then and it's less important now. But I really just don't remember this being like a thing.
No, it's definitely a movie thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love Anthony Michael Hall doing the I Had a Girlfriend in Canada thing. Mm-hmm. Classic bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have this whole thing with Molly Ringwald, which, you know, obviously she's very upset about.
And she says...
treat her like shit.
And then they all act like Ali Sheedy wasn't a total sociopath just now. Mm-hmm, they're like, what's weird about what she did? And I'm like, everything? Like, the whole speech was weird?
Right. Yeah. And then Emilio Estevez does this big confession, and like from an acting perspective, like this is a very good scene,
very good,
you know, really good.
Fully forgot about the gay sexual assault and his reasoning, but sure,
yeah. It's like the emotion he's bringing out here of like a bully realizing that he did irreparable damage to a person, and that changing him in a way that he can't like reconcile is cool. Interesting. Like it's an interesting thing to have in this movie, but it also doesn't come to anything other than Emilio being like, sometimes I wish I would blow my knee out and then I couldn't be a sporto anymore and my dad wouldn't care about me. But there's not the moment that happens. I'm sorry to keep going back to Ferris Bueller, but there's like nobody gets a Cameron moment where they're like, oh, I'm changed. Like I'm done doing that thing. I'm doing this thing now. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, you can argue over whether Cameron's is earned or not and whatever, you know, that's
because
fine.
I think what's going to happen Monday is they're all going to go back to their normal selves. Like that's
right.
That's the tag, the after credit scene of this movie. They're all back to their fucking normal self.
Right. Like, I don't think Molly Ringwald even has another makeout sesh with Bender necessarily.
No. She's going to tell everyone that he stole her earring, and that's why he has it. And
yeah. If anyone even notices.
Yeah. Also, Emilio is talking about like, how do you even apologize for that? And I'm like, well, personally, I like the kind of apology that folds. If you catch my drift.
I think how you apologize for that is you apologize sincerely.
Start there, and then also. Here's some money.
It's just like I think this scene is incredibly well acted, and all of the parts of it are like really powerful. Like I think this is really interesting. The movie does not find it as interesting as I do because it's this one sequence and then it's gone.
Nothing blossoms from these seeds.
Because there's a moment where you're like, oh, maybe he quits wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like, honestly, I would him intentionally hurting his own knee.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, it would be, I don't know how you would get that in this movie necessarily, but yes, the vibes you're talking about are fine. Like, I agree. Something like that it's interesting. But it comes to nothing. And then we get, we kind of undercut this with Anthony Michael Hall, who's been very sad, throughout this whole conversation.
He was making a ceramic lamp in shop class.
Yes.
And I'm like, what was shop class to people? Like, shop class to me was like working with wood or metal or cars.
So I was wondering if it was the lamp was like kind of prefab and you were just wiring it to be a lamp.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Because I was like, ceramics is fully art class.
Right. But he's trying to make this lamp, and you pull in the elephant's trunk and it turns on, and it wouldn't work. And so, because like, here's another thing. Like, this could be the moment where Bender's like, I'll teach you how to do it on Monday.
Yes, this is what this should have fucking been.
Right. And I it's funny, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is where this goes. And it doesn't. And to be fair, this is probably more accurate. It's probably way more accurate that this is how this is, as you just indicated with your Link story of like, this is probably way more true, that it's like, oh no, like this is this one weird day where these kids all spent this time together and
for it to be a true Link story, Bender should have offered that. Like, it should have felt like it was building to this, and then after credits should have been school at Monday as normal.
Right. Yeah. So he starts talking about he brought a gun to school, and it's like, oh shit, is this like a school shooter or a suicide thing? And then it's revealed, oh, ha. Well, then, it was a flare gun, and it went off in my locker.
He says he brought the gun, and he says, yeah, you click this, and the light turns on. And I was like, I'm not a gun person. I've never held a gun, but I was like, I don't know that a gun has a light on it that's supposed to turn on at any point. So what is happening here? And then we found out he was going to kill himself with a flare gun.
And there was a split-second shot in the opening credits of a locker that was burned out.
Yeah.
And that's clearly what this is.
Okay, you said that earlier, and I didn't catch. I just thought that was like supposed to be fireworks, but yeah.
Yeah, it's clearly what this is.
So that tension builds because first it was like I took shot because I wanted an easy grade, and Bender gets bent out of shape because he's like, why would it be easy? And then
because it's not fucking physics, Bender.
Yeah,
because it's not fucking physics.
And Brian rightfully is like, well, what do you know about trigonometry?
Yeah.
And they go back and forth, and then Ali Sheedy tries to break the tension, being like, I'm Daniel Day-Lewis. I can write with my foot, or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I thought she breaks the tension by saying, I'm here because I had nothing better to do.
At one point, she uses that to break the tension. I don't remember when.
Okay.
Which, like, to me, does it mean that she actually did something to get detention because she was bored, or she just showed up because she was bored?
Right.
Which I don't know which was the answer.
I think it's the second one. I think she just showed up to detention because she was bored.
And then they all turn to Molly Ringwald. They're like, well, what can you do? And she's like, I don't know. And she's clearly a little embarrassed by this thing. Like, she probably did it sleep over. Like, it feels very like...
Yeah, she says she learned it at camp, which is exactly the place you learned to do this.
And she pulls out what I'm 99% sure is Clinique Black Honey, which is still viral today for no fucking reason.
Okay.
It is called Almost Lipstick because it does absolutely nothing.
Okay.
It is quote-unquote universally flattering, and they used it for some people on the set of Friends, and so people lose their minds over this shit.
Okay.
Been around since 1971. And so she's like...
It hardly changes the shade of her lips.
Exactly, because that's what Almost Lipstick does. But she's like, do you promise you won't laugh at me? And they all say yes. And so she does this bit where she puts the lipstick between her boobs, and she puts it on, like she puts her head down and puts her lipstick on that way. And everyone's kind of like laughing and chuckling and having a good time. And Bender, apropos of nothing, as usual, is like, wow, that was impressive. And she's like, I'm like, no one ever said it was like, she's not saying this is my America's Got Talent audition.
Right.
You all said, what can you do? And I said, I guess this.
Right.
And so he goes into a fucking tirade again, and in his own tirade brings up, did you get those earrings for Christmas? Which prompts himself to be like, well, my Christmases suck. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, why are you bringing it up then, buddy boy?
Also, it is completely inexplicable. Like, at this point, I'm like, how much time is left in this movie? 15 minutes from now, these two are making out in a closet and exchanging a earring in a sentimental way. It is inexplicable. Like, look, I know people make bad choices in dating, and particularly, women are date this type of man all over the country, all over countries all over the world. This is like not that uncommon. I completely understand. Many women have dated guys just like John Bender. Many women, like Molly Ringwald's character, have dated guys like John Bender throughout history, and will continue to do so. I completely understand that. I completely get that this movie is real. From a film perspective, it is inexplicable that this character makes this choice.
I hate it. It doesn't make any sense. Well, also, like, I forgot how little bonding they did. It's like...
Yeah, there's no moment between them until she goes into the closet.
Truly, any of them.
Yeah.
Until this scene with, like, 25, maybe 30 minutes left in the movie, when they decided, oh wait, our characters have to like each other now. It's like
there are 15 minutes left in the movie when Bender is shitty to her about the lipstick. No, I know you are. I'm just saying, there's 15 minutes left in the movie at this point.
And this is where Anthony Michael Hall is like, "What, are we going to be friends?" And Molly Ringwald very like honestly says, "I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen."
Right.
And that's where Bender goes on shit again, and again, makes no sense. And then Brian's like, I wouldn't do that to you. And as I was writing, of course you wouldn't, Brian. You're the loser. Molly Ringwald's like, yeah, of course that wouldn't be a problem because your friends look up to us. And she doesn't say it in a way that's like they should or like, I deserve it. She's just like, yeah, I am at the top of the social hierarchy in this school.
Right.
No shit.
Right.
And they all like get on her case. And I'm like, because she's open about her privilege and like is honest about it.
Yeah.
This is where we learn the suicide thing.
Yes, and so that I was like, he got Saturday detention for bringing the gun to school. Like, I know this was Reagan's America, but like, this kid didn't get sent to an institution, and it was like, oh no, he brought a flare gun to school and set his locker on fire. They probably thought he was doing a prank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, this is where Sheedy says she's got nothing better to do, so I was wrong before.
And then smash cut to a dance party.
Yeah.
Real
from
whiplash.
From a movie perspective, it's like, we got to cut this tension hard, and I don't know how to get out of it, so what do we do?
You could have put this tension, I don't know, 45 minutes ago in your movie?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that's what it should have been. They should have started 100%. With that. Brian gets conned into writing the dance break.
The dance break should have come out of the weed.
Yes, it should have. But yeah, Brian gets conned into writing the essay.
This made me mad, too, that Molly Ringwald fucking takes advantage of him here. I was like, you just said that you are upset about the shitty way you have to behave. Why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. Just none of you do
None of you write the essay. Because he doesn't check before you all leave.
Right.
And we get, I'm going to say, one of the worst makeovers in movie history.
Completely bizarre. Before we get too far off it, I do love the little dance that Ali Sheedy and Bender do. The like foot shuffle in and out. It's just very cute.
In, out, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Molly Ringwald's like, "Let me make you beautiful," and we get like she's doing eyeshadow, right?
Well, first of all, never share eye products. Just a general PSA. You can share lip products. You can share blush and foundation. Never share something that touches your eye. So just that off the bat. But it's like, it strips away everything about what's her character's name?
I don't remember Ali Sheedy's character's name.
Allison, actually.
Is it really Allison?
It is. It strips away everything about Allison that's Allison. Like, there's no, like, she wears, like, hey, let's, tie this sweater around your shoulders. Or, like, let's, brush your hair a little. It's like she just becomes
also, where do these
Molly
clothes
Ringwald.
Come from?
Was she wearing that little chemise underneath?
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
She comes out and looks like Molly Ringwald's little sister that mom said you had to bring me.
It's very Little Sister coded. It's strange.
It's a bad makeover. Like, there's make a good makeover you should have seen it the whole time. When it happens, you're like, oh, I get it.
I will say it's like limited resources probably plays a part here, but then like just don't have this part. Like, what if it was just instead they had a conversation where they related to each other?
I don't mind if she goes in and is like, let me style your hair a little bit. So
or if Ali Sheedy was the one who asked for this, as opposed to Molly Ringwald being like, let me make you less uggo.
Yeah, I think I would have been much happier if it was like, hey, my hair used to be that length forever. Let me show you some tricks. And then she like just styles her hair. She keeps everything else the same. but her hair looks kind of nice now. And it's like, oh, okay, we're moving somewhere. It's not, let's erase everything about you so that Emilio Estevez wants you.
Meanwhile, she like walks out in this Laney Boggs moment, and Emilio is like, "Arrgh," falls off the chair, and Anthony Michael Hall too is like dumbfounded by her,
a triple
and
take.
she starts to say something to him, and then he breaks into this really genuine smile, and that moment between them is kind of this nice unspoken thing of like, yeah, but like then it turns to Emilio, who's like, I want to dry hump you, baby. It's just such a weird energy.
It's a bad makeover. Like, and we all agree, right? This isn't a hot take that this is a bad makeover, right?
Oh, I don't know. I did not see specifics on the makeover.
I'll have to Google now, because now I'm like, what if it is? What if I'm a hater?
Maybe, I don't know. But then Molly Ringwald shows up in Bender's closet and then starts kissing him on the neck and doing this like heart-to-heart moment with him. And it's just like, this is so deeply unearned.
He's an abuser. Sorry, he's an abuser.
No, 100%. But throw that part out of it, right? And you shouldn't, but I'm just saying, like, throw...
You could excuse racism?
It's just like, throw away what you're saying. What in this movie was the moment where Molly Ringwald was like, he's actually got a heart of gold in there. There's a nice guy. I can fix him.
I want the John Madden yellow circle around that moment in this movie.
It never happens. There's not a single moment of kindness between these two characters. There's not it's like, again,
they happen, but they're surrounded by so much fucking hatred and anger.
Right. And like I said, I understand that this is extremely realistic, and many women and men date people who are abusive and cruel and mean and all that stuff. That's like a very, very, like, it's not even average. It's boring. It's like standard. It happens thousands of times, hundreds of thousands of times, millions of times across the world. Like, I understand that completely. I'm just saying, from a film standpoint, it's like they don't end on a note of positivity. There's not like a long heart to heart between these two where it's like we had this moment. I know it's in there.
The dance party is what spurred her to do this, basically.
Right. And it's like, this is so clearly that, like, I can fix him, and they don't show me the part that is, but this is normally when it's like, I can fix him, you see like what it could be and the parts that are there. None of that is true for Bender. He's a fucking asshole. Mm-hmm. He sucks so hard. Anyway, they kiss, and, we get "Won't you forget about" or "Don't you forget about me"? Excuse me, won't you? And all the kids' parents are there to pick him up. Maybe there's a John Hughes cameo. I don't know. I didn't Google it in time.
And then the song was re-immortalized in Pitch Perfect.
Yes. and Bender, walks across the football field as we get Anthony Michael Hall reading the essay out loud. And
which again, so this principal, who was so boned up to make him write an essay. He's like, this is what I'm going to do to these kids. Didn't check the assignment before they left. Let them all leave.
Right. There wasn't a dismissal from the detention. It was just like, well, the day is over. Off we go.
The bird whistle went off, like in the Flintstones, and we all punched out.
There was the whole moment with the Carl where he's like, that clock is 20 minutes fast. And I was like, oh, is that going to come into play? Nope. And then I was like, well, wait, the principal has a clock that isn't 20 minutes fast. So he would just be like, that clock is broken. And then these kids' parents are there to pick them up. None of these parents rolled up to pick these kids up 20 minutes before they were due. So, like, what's happening? Where's Paul
forgot.
Gleason?
I thought that clock thing was going to be a thing. It's been so long that I was like, oh, you know what? I bet there's a moment where, like, he's like, I'll be in to check on you at 1:30 or something.
Yeah.
No, that never happens.
Yeah. So I don't understand. But yeah, he's like, and the other thing that's wild to me is like, they show Paul Gleason like holding the essay, and then
he's like nodding as if like, you know what, those kids did learn something.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. He's like doing an appreciative like,
respect.
Goddamn kids got it after all. And it's like, huh? This essay calls you a putz. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it feels like maybe that's what he was doing in the basement in the psych files. He was hand selecting students to put in detention.
Yes, he was creating the perfect storm.
Yes.
This is like the thing I've talked about before, that I had a class that was government and sociology, and I'm convinced that my teacher was doing a long-term sociological experiment on me, because the girl who sat in front of me always got the highest grade in the class, and I always got the lowest grade in the class, and then I would go up to like midterms. I remember the first midterm being like, well, this is going to be a problem. And he's like, Trip, you got to be, keep it up. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to argue with it because that sounds good to me. Yeah. It was like, I'm pretty sure you gave me a test back that I got a 50 out of 122. That seems impossible. But I'm convinced he was just like, how low of a number can I put on this essay test before this kid has a freak out and comes up and is like, what are you doing to me? And it never happened. So I never did it.
Wrong student to test.
He did. It's like, well, if you say I got to be, I'm good.
He didn't. So. He clearly did not talk to Richie. Your English teacher?
That?
Our English teacher?
Oh.
I didn't want to give his last name because I don't know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He clearly didn't talk to Richie.
Yeah.
Would have been like, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not gonna care. Pick a different one.
He wrote a paper on the way to a Shady Maple Breakfast, and he got a B on it. This kid does not give a shit. I mean, I gave some shit. But,
enough of a shit.
I gave exactly as much shit as you should. Final thoughts and recommendations.
Again, I appreciate it for what it has done for the cultural zeitgeist and all of that, and like being full of iconography of the era. Yeah. As a movie product, I think it's becoming less and less relevant to watch.
I think that's probably pretty accurate. I also think I would be curious if this resonates at all with a 13-year-old the way it resonated for 13-year-old me. And I guess the answer is no.
I don't think it, based on anecdotal evidence, I don't think it would, because it's just a very different perspective. Like, I think in the 90s and early aughts, this was like required viewing for high school students.
Sure, yeah.
And I think I mean, obviously that's what happens now is like, it's Mean Girls. Like, that's what's required viewing.
Yeah,
so I guess it makes sense that like every, the 20-year cycle, whatever.
Into every generation, a high school movie is born.
Exactly.
I mean, it's fine that it evolves over time and all that. That all makes sense. But yeah, I do. Yeah, I think you're right. Like I don't think it would resonate for a teen the way it resonated for a teen me. Yeah. 10, 15 years after this movie was made versus, almost 40, 41. This is 84, right?
I had the 30th anniversary edition, so it's definitely older than that.
Yeah. And I will say, like, in terms of, if you've never seen a Brat Pack movie, I'm not sure there's a better one. Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, I've never loved 16 Candles as much as other people do. And Pretty in Pink, I kind of feel the same way about. Again, I don't, like, hate them or anything, but I think this one is, like, the best performances of all. And like, I'll say this. We shat on Judd Nelson and Bender a lot in this movie. The performance is excellent.
I'm shitting on the character and the writing.
Right.
The performance
100%.
is stellar.
Right. And so, like, really brings that character to life off the page and all of that. All 5 of these kids are awesome. It's like really lightning in a bottle, crackling electricity performances from all of them. Emilio, outside of the one really incredible scene, I don't love. Like, I don't find him as dynamic and magnetic. He's fine. But I would say, like, Anthony Michael Hall, every time he's on screen, is pretty magnetic.
Adorable.
And the other 4. So other than Emilio, like, again, I don't think he's bad, but I think he is, like, a little bit outclassed whenever he's going up against somebody else, but then he gets that monologue and he really delivers. So, overall, I think his performance is really excellent in this movie. So that's what I would say is, like, I think this movie is, from a filmmaking standpoint, like it's incredible how engaging this movie is, despite the fact that it's a movie that takes place entirely in 3 rooms, basically. Yeah. And is dynamic and interesting and fun to watch from that perspective. And I think the performances are electric, but I don't love the movie the way I used to, for sure.
Agreed.
So I'm, curious if other people feel differently. I have, like, a soft spot for it because I, watched this movie a lot when I was younger, but I don't know, like, I'm not in any rush to revisit this.
No, I'm good. I think I can go back on the shelf. I still think my favorite John Hughes movie is Adventures in Babysitting, even though it's not a John Hughes movie. But if I have to pick a real one, it's probably Home Alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say Home Alone pretty easily for me. Although there's probably one I'm forgetting that I really like.
Although what bums me out now is that Adventures in Babysitting is available on Disney Plus, which means they don't have fuck in it.
Yes,
which is like so disappointing because it's a movie that only uses it like twice, I think, and like It's used with such purpose.
Yeah. Okay, we have to revise the John Hughes favorites because I think that you and I have forgotten some important ones. Ferris Bueller's Day Off definitely higher than Home Alone for me. I know it's not for you, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. Is Uncle Buck higher? Than Home Alone
shit! I forgot Uncle Buck was John Hughes.
Or Vacation. Or Christmas Vacation.
Oh, you know what? It's between Christmas Vacation and Uncle Buck.
Okay. And then the wild card, I don't know what his credit is on it, but he is credited here as The Great Outdoors. And I don't know whether he was the writer or what, but
maybe that is a story by. That feels like a story by.
That was one of our family's films, so obviously we both have a real deep soft spot for that. Yeah. I'm trying to look that one up quickly. He also apparently did Beethoven. He has like character credits in all the Beethoven sequels. I guess. Oh, that was one of the ones he wrote under a fake name, which is kind of funny. He wrote Christmas Vacation, fully written by Uncle Buck, fully written by Great Outdoors. So.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't think I.
Did you use Summer Rental?
I'm sure we talked about that. No, he did not. But I'm sure we talked about that on our Great Outdoors episode and just forgot it. So
probably.
Yeah. Here's a wild one for you. Screenplay credits on both Flubber and 101 Dalmatians.
I did know 101 Dalmatians because he was working on something else right before that. It might have been Home Alone. He like went from that to that, but it was like people were like, yeah, it's wild. Okay.
Oh, he also directed Uncle Buck and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which I think he also wrote. So, lots of stuff there. Yeah. This is only the second thing he directed, which is kind of wild.
Oh, wow.
So, anyway, that's our long John Hughes diatribe. A guy who made a bunch of movies I liked and probably had some really backwards views on women, which is a bummer. But, yeah, that's the time he was living in.
Yeah.
Also, he's dead for like 15 years. So it's hard to hold him to the modern standards. Oh, yeah. Lung cancer. He was a chain smoker.
Yeah. Well.
Last credit. Secret writer of Drill Bit Taylor.
I don't even know what that is. Is it an Army movie?
No. What's the guy? Wow. Owen Wilson is the guy hired by a bunch of children to beat up their bullies.
Fun. Okay. Fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that was The Breakfast Club, our 300th episode of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the show. If you want to get every episode, you now have to join us over on Patreon. $5 a month gets you instant access to the entire back catalog and every monthly bonus episode. The schedule will be the first of the month on Patreon and the 15th a month on here on the main feed. We're going to try to hit those days as close as we can. Obviously, there might be some wiggles along the way, but that we'll try to stick to that schedule as closely as possible. We'll still do our annual Christmas Mintary. Still going to be having that fun stuff we were used to on Patreon. We'll still do our Spooktacular in October. This year, at least, we'll still be Candied Yams. We'll be a John Candy movie on both feeds. We'll see if we decide to change that one in the future, but we're going to stick to that stuff and probably still do favorites February and February, but just change things up a little bit. Thank you so very much for listening to the show. I've been Trip Lano.
I will always be Andrew Lano.
Until next time.
Don't you forget about me.
Dissecting the 80s is a Chum Some of This production.